in towards the leg stump and the full.
Go, Aussie, go. Go, Aussie, go. Go, Aussie, go. Let's hear it. Go, Aussie, go. Let's cheer it. Go, Aussie, go. Let's hear it. Go, Aussie, go. Let's cheer it. Go, Aussie, go. Let's hear it. Go, Aussie, go. Let's cheer it. Go, you golden greens. Let's hear it. Keep the spirit glowing. Part of all our dreams. Legend keeps on growing. Go, you golden greens. Keep the spirit glowing. Part of all our dreams. Legend keeps on growing. Go, you golden greens. Keep the spirit glowing. Part of all our dreams. The legend keeps on growing. Go, you golden greens. Keep the spirit glowing. Part of all our dreams. The legend keeps on growing. Go, you golden greens. Keep the spirit glowing. Part of all our dreams. The legend keeps on growing. Go, you golden
What a performance! They're in the air, the Aussies.
The hits, the misses, they're all here on Dino the Video. Dean Jones takes us on a whistle-stop tour of a great cricketing career. The highlights,
Oh, he smashed that one.
the inside stories,
Nobody was waiting for me.
the characters, Botham, Hadley, Richards, the most explosive Australian cricketer of our time and one of the most outspoken opens up. Dino, it's out on video and a must for every cricket lover.
Hello there, I'm Tony Jones and welcome to this One Day Wonder. These two games are absolute classics. Later on we'll bring you some Dean Jones magic and a titanic clash between the Australians and England at Brisbane's Gabba ground. But first it's off to the MCG before the Great Southern Stand was built. In fact, a January 5, 1989 for a day-night clash between the Aussies and the Windies. Going into this game, the Windies were undefeated in the one-day series, while the Australians were coming off a defeat at the hands of the Pakistanis, who made up the triangular series. The Aussies were desperate for a win and took the field with Alan Border in charge. He was joined by Jeff Marsh and David Boone opening. Then came Dean Jones, Graham Wood, Steve Waugh, all-rounder Simon O'Donnell, Ian Healy. The bowlers were Peter Taylor, Craig McDermott and Terry Alderman. The West Indies, meantime, went into the match full of confidence with 5 wins from 5 starts. Viv Richards was at the helm with regular openers Greenwich and Haynes, and what a partnership that was. Richie Richardson, keeper Jeff Dujon, Hooper and Roger Harper. Then the quicks, Ambrose, Benjamin, Bishop and Walsh. Well, after a couple of days of rain, the Aussies went into bat in front of over 65,000 fans. And at the microphone, Bill Laurie and Tony Cozier.
Good shot. On the back foot, waiting for it. And they'll pick up 3 easy runs here. The fielder is Winston Benjamin.
David Boone realising the field is up in the first 15 overs, prepared to hit over the infield. A beautifully placed pull shot. It wasn't all that short. He whipped it over mid-wicket. 3 runs. It certainly hasn't got the ball moving away towards the slip today. The breeze coming from that region from around about square leg.
That's a pretty long boot that is put out there to stop it. Curtly Ambrose making the save at fine leg.
Fine athlete, Ambrose. Had the side screen looming up, but remained calm and cool. He's a good arm as well. Having a wonderful tour.
Shot. That's going to be 4. Outfield is a bit slow, but he hit it really well, and that's the first boundary of the innings. So a boundary to end the over off. It's no wicket for 26. And that's off the inside edge, played down into the stumps. So Ambrose strikes, and Australia have lost their first wicket.
This is the ability of Curtly Ambrose to get the ball to rear and cut back. It pitches in, it cuts back, boom, trying to fend it away towards the gully region onto the leg stump. And the first wicket has fallen after a good start by the Australians. Nice quick start, but once again, the big, tall, fast bowler breaking through. It's 1 for 26.
Marsh is 14. Jones not off the mark, and he's had 17 deliveries out there. Trouble here.
Roger Harper at 6'6" or thereabouts. Magnificently coordinated athlete. Just have a look at this. He's got about one stump to aim at. Picks the ball up in a flash. And is it a direct hit? Is the batsman in? Well, you judge for yourself. He looks out to me. Get a double bowling change now. Courtney Walsh bowled from the outer end, but from the members' end, it's to be Winston Benjamin.
Good shot. Hopped right into that. And 43 on the board after 14.
Courtney Walsh fumbles, and they get 2. Just.
Yes, one gets the feeling that it's only a question of time before we see a run out here. Jones on that occasion taking advantage of this fumble. He was down at the non-striker's end having played that shot. Here's the fumble. And back he goes, and Jones was very quick.
Beautiful hit. It's boundary.
Not even Roger Harper could cut that one off. Magnificent shot. Marsh blazing this one through the offside. It was just short of a length. He hit it on the up, and it went crashing into the fence at extra cover.
It's a nice deflection. That's fine. It could be 4.
And don't the crowd enjoy it too? Green and gold flags going everywhere here. Too fine for the fine leg fieldsman. Even a size 12 boot can't get there.
After a 20-minute rain delay, the game continued as a 49-over-a-side match.
And Roger Harper is going to get a bowl for the first time. That's a neat deflection. Picking up 2. And bringing up Australia's 100. Just couldn't hold on. Not very often you see Richards drop a catch, but that was a very difficult one. Flying attempt.
Looked like a goalie save in the end. almost tipping it around the edge of the bar. But that was because it was virtually out of reach. Magnificent effort by Viv Richards.
Now this is a chance. He's gone. He had to hit eventually Roger Harper. He's missed 3 or 4 times earlier, and this time on his toes, unaccurate, and Jeff Marsh is run out.
Really is a beautiful sight to watch Roger Harper work in the field. As he came in there, the head was down, made sure he got the ball in his hand, then he lined up the stumps, and it was never in doubt once he hit. So good innings there from Jeffrey Marsh. Comes to an end with a run out. Australia 2 for 106.
New batsman is Graham Wood. Comes in to replace his Western Australian teammate Jeff Marsh. Just run out.
He's left for dead a bit there by Dean Jones. Roger Harper does the job very easily. Magnificent fieldsman. Excellent example there to young players, the way he watched the ball perfectly into his hand, then he had a look at the target.
Slight deflection, and Ian Bishop takes a big tumble as the ball comes off the pad. There was an appeal for leg before, and the deflection carrying it past Dujon. So 4 leg byes.
Outside the line of off stump when that ball hit him. Only just outside the line of off stump, and that's why it deflected to a very fine third man.
Now it's to be Roger Harper. He'll be bowling to Graham Wood. Jones is 35, Wood 9. Some spin there. This won't displease Peter Taylor as he's watching. A man out there at deep square, but it's gone well wide of him.
With a further 15 overs to go. Expect the run rate to be up above 5, somewhere up around 6, if in fact they bowl those overs. Runs coming freely now. I think on board we're looking to a total somewhere up around the 210 mark or thereabouts. Beautifully fielded. Viv Richards. Most of the summer he spent standing in the slips, making decisions, enjoying a bit of a roam around in front of the wicket. Gets to the ball so beautifully balanced.
And that's LBW. I actually can't imagine where else it would have gone, but middle stump about halfway up. So the third wicket goes down.
Simple formula. Pitch middle and off, hit middle and off, and accompany the umpire. Dean Jones, a well-compiled 43 runs after a slow start. Some haphazard running, but Australia now 3 for 144.
Alan Border has decided to keep the right-hand, left-hand combination going. Dean Jones was dismissed.
It's in the air, down towards square leg. Good placement and into the fence. That's the second sweep shot or lofted sweep shot he's played for a boundary. And that relieves the pressure a little bit. Wood creating some pressure for War.
As he takes from the stumps and hits it square, beats the man fine. Conditions rather damp out there near the boundary line.
And he's got that way too. Good shot. He's a fine cricketer, this fella. Into the fence it goes. And this crowd beginning to sense the possibility here of the Australians putting one over the West Indies.
Yes, they're applying the pressure now, and War in particular picking up the boundaries, which you need to do against the spinners.
And again, Benjamin, the fieldsman.
11 runs off this over so far, and now the Australians may be thinking around about 230. Get 230 on this ground today, it'll be a very, very good score. Run rate 4.35.
Inside edge, and that'll be 4. "15 runs off the over. Great over for Australia. 3 for 182. Bishop is being brought into the attack. He bowled first with Ambrose. Oh, it's in the air, and this is how he gets out so often. Ambrose has got him. Oh, he's dropped it. It's gone. No, it's not. Yes, it's Ambrose. Straight through his legs. Bishop cannot believe it. How he's hurt his fingers. He's got the biggest hands in the world. How he could have dropped that, I'll never know.
Bishop can't believe it. There it was. Wood went for it once again. The top edge it, and he took his eye off. He thought it was a Christmas pudding, and through it went, and he didn't recover all that quickly either.
This is a great performance by Australia.
Big crowd getting
4.57 they've got it to now. In the air, down towards square leg, beating the fieldsman. Oh, it's well stopped. That area, in fact, the outfield is pretty damp, and that was good fielding by Richie Richardson.
and a good shot by Graham Wood, finding the gap and getting it over square leg. You then see that Ambrose put away all that often this summer. This time he's got it on leg stump and whipped it nicely. 50-run partnership between Wood and War. Quick fired 50.
Over the top, the man down there will cut it off, but they'll get another 2. So the fourth 50 in only 33 balls. And that thanks largely to this man. There is the run rate. Have a look at the improvement. Between 30 and 40, they really have turned it on. Oh, he's bowled him. That was a rank full toss. Bowled at high pace, and that brings to an end what has been a little gem of an innings.
A wonderful innings by Stephen Waugh, but once again Ambrose with the Yorker. He yorked him. He didn't seem to move. He was stuck in the crease. But a fine innings, and innings has put Australia with a real chance here. There's the full pitch. Took off stump. Played all around it. But a great ovation for Stephen Waugh. The crowd realised that his little quick-fire innings has lifted the Australian team as Alan Border makes his way to the crease to a standing ovation.
In the air, he's gone. 2 in a row. Surely it can't go wrong from here. Wood has hit that one straight to backward point. Carl Hooper made the catch. And so the two that put together that tremendous partnership back in the pavilion, and listen to the roar. Simon O'Donnell is about to come out, and this ground is on its feet. Quite right. Viv Richards is deadly dangerous in that position at mid-wicket. He's what we call a swooper. He Goes swooping away to his left there and picks it up, and even Border, who's got it of his ground there, could quite easily have got himself run out. Oh, this has got to be out. Yes, he's gone. He doesn't even have to throw it. Tragedy. Simon O'Donnell looking for one, but Ambrose following through, able to pick the ball up and run up to the stumps, take the bails off.
Yeah, it's a little bit of inexperience there. He's trying to get the ball away, as you must do in these type of finishes, but really the ball was coming straight back. And Ambrose was going to always win that event, and O'Donnell run out, which is very sad for the big crowd. And the West Indians getting back in these final overs. It's now 6 for 207.
Again, Healy is the new batsman. Oh, he's out. No, he's not. It's hit the stumps and they've got to run. Well, there are all sorts of ways to get runs against the West Indies. This is quite innovative.
But it isn't Ambrose a competitor. Healy pushed the ball back, was looking for the single, and takes a while to wind up the big guy, and he's grabbed the ball and with a very good throw. He was close. There goes the arm. Healy is out of the wicket. There's the throw. Boy, there wasn't much in it either. And they get a single.
Well, that gives Border the strike, and the question now is, what can he do? Back at mid, gap at mid-on and mid-wicket. He's gone for it. He's in at the air. Richie Richardson's there, and he picks it up on the half volley. Oh, there's a mix-up. There's a huge mix-up. He's out by Miles. Border run out by Miles.
Well, can they do anything right? They get themselves in a situation where they've got a run charge on, set up by Wood and War, and they get it all wrong. A brilliant piece of fielding by Richie Richardson on the half volley. Attacked the ball. There's the throw. Healy's kept coming. Border doesn't want to come. Then there's a hesitation. The throws to the keeper, and Border's run out by a mile.
Well, I think that was probably Border's fault. 7 for 217. Peter Taylor, the new batsman, to face Ambrose. He's got the crash helmet on. This is how the run out occurred, and Border here was a little naughty not to come for the second.
Well, it was a great piece of fielding, and throw was short. Border's hesitant, but Healy wants to come. Border has gone. As Taylor gets off the mark, which you must press. They're going to press, not this time. Yes, they will.
Yes, well, that's what happens if you put a bit of pressure on the fieldsman. Brilliant bit of fielding there the ball before, and on that occasion, perhaps charging it a little bit too much. Taylor nudging that one off his hip for one. Richardson again into the action.
Well, it's a big crowd, Tony. It must be getting up towards 65,000. The northern stand is packed. The southern stand is packed.
Oh, he's bowled him. This Ambrose is unreal. He really has turned this game on its head. Australia were looking so good, and he's come back into the attack and he's caused havoc.
Yes, they've lost about 5 for 20. And this is the Yorker again. Well, pretty close to it, between his legs, trying to hit it somewhere around about square leg. He does aim at the stumps. He's having a wonderful tour. It's 8 for 220.
Right, Ian Bishop. McDermott. And they'll never get more than one. Let's have another look at this dismissal and see if we can pick up where the ball pitched.
It was just short of a Yorker's. Probably land in front of the popping crease, but here's a Yorker animation. Not that much difference.
Yes, the ball pitching right up on the crease there, and I'd assume that would go under the bat were it to beat the batsman. Bishop, will he try one? Oh, and it's gone for 4. A very fine nick on that one by Taylor, and into the fence it goes. He would have enjoyed that.
The ball was very full, and Peter Taylor's a fighter. He'll try and get back to ball. He won't shirk the issue at all, and that's a great result for him. There's the delivery. It's a full pitch. It was outside the leg stump. Dujon diving away, couldn't make contact with the gloves, and the big crowd roars in front of Bay 13.
This will be the last over now. He's got him, caught behind, So Bishop at last has struck. That little feint nick going through to the keeper. Now, if they bowl Australia out, it will revert to a 49-over match. So it's important now for Alderman to use these balls up. Faint little nick there through to the keeper.
It's going to be Terry Alderman to join Craig McDermott. And a good performance by the Australians overall.
Yeah, something for the Aussies to cheer for, or cheer about. They've done pretty well. Still may not have enough runs, though. Bishop. Oh, bowled him, neck and crop. It took one ball exactly, and the stumps are all over the place. So Alderman not able to see out one, let alone three, which means that the West Indies now get 49 overs. There's the delivery. It hits off stump, and the Australians have made 226.
The Australians bowled out somewhat disappointingly there for just 218 in the 48th over, with Swampy Marsh getting 50 and Jones, Wood and Steve Waugh getting scores, although the last 7 wickets did fall for just 24 runs to give the Windies a bit of a sniff. For the bowlers, Curtly Ambrose, despite dropping a sitter, took 3 wickets, as did Ian Bishop, while Viv Richards got the wicket of Dean Jones. So the Windies needed 227 at 4.73 runs and over.
He's got it through. That's a good shot. Long chase into the outfield. It probably will just go. Oh, beautifully saved. The outfield just a little bit slow. There was quite a bit of rain here in Melbourne yesterday. But even so, they run 4. Having to hurry. But Haynes giving Greenwich the hurry up.
Gordon Greenwich just pointing to his earmuffs there on the helmet, and I would say he was suggesting that with all the noise here at the MCG, you'll have to call louder, Desmond.
So Desmond Haynes has his first ball. Gordon Greenwich has faced both overs so far. Gone. Caught at first slip, low down. Desmond Haynes out, first ball.
It's a long way back here at the MCG when you're playing on one of the far side wickets. A good outswinger once again from Terry Alderman. Well taken by Alan Border. And let me tell you, it's even a bit further back when you've made naught. West Indies 1 for 9.
New batsman is Richie Richardson. Just come in to replace Desmond Haynes. That's the Yorker. And well blocked by Richardson. Perfect delivery to the new batsman. Almost through.
Well, Richie Richardson's in very good form, and it's just as well because that was a perfectly pitched Yorker.
Not the first on this Melbourne cricket ground in recent weeks.
Underneath edge from an attempted pull shot.
Alderman. That's just short. Certainly beat him. Greenwich was holding back the drive.
Very good attempt there by Terry Alderman at the caught and bowled. Just getting it on the bounce.
McDermott to Richardson, and that's a fine shot. That's beautifully played off the toes. Richardson is in really prime form at the present time, and that was 4 even from the time it left the bat, and even on an outfield which is well grassed and big.
This is quite slow here because of all the rain. Richie Richardson hit that one to the short side of the MCG. And it just trickled into the boundary, but it was beautifully hit.
Got him! dragged it on. Similar to David Boone's shot. A good delivery from Craig McDermott. Inside edge onto the stumps, and that's a very important wicket for Australia. A little bit of movement back there off the inside edge, down onto the leg stump. And Craig McDermott and the crowd know how important it is to get rid of Gordon Greenidge. 2 for 21. Jeff Dujon was the new batsman.
Third man's got a long chase there. It's a big ground, and there's always one on the throw when the fielder is out, as Wood was then, or some 35 metres in from the boundary. Has to be a player with an enormous arm if he's to stop the third run being taken there. Always one for the throw. It's got him again. That's a half pitcher, and Richardson's taken full advantage of it.
He doesn't want to let this affect him too much. It's not going to change, that's for sure. Not tonight, anyhow. O'Donnell received a huge ovation when he came out onto the ground to bat. And I should think they'll get right behind him now as well.
It's gone straight past Pointer, who didn't see it, I don't think. Well, they'll run 4. That's probably all they'll get. A misunderstanding between Richardson and Dujon. Richardson didn't think Dujon was going to come for the 4th. There's hesitation, and probably the wrong end.
Steve Waugh.
Well, that's a shot of a man in great touch. There wasn't much of a gap between cover and mid-off, and Richardson found the gap.
I guess you have your grounds that you feel good at as a player. And Richie Richardson's most recent memories of this ground would certainly be the century scored in the 3rd Test match. So to walk through the gate again, a big crowd, a boost of confidence, and to feel the ball on the middle of the bat like that, you can only feel good.
Beautifully played. In front of a crowd of 60,000 plus. Richardson turning it on here this evening. Waiting for his elder statesman to come for the 3rd run. Richardson not putting him under too much pressure. This man having a golden tour.
Peter Taylor now comes on. Beautifully hit. That'll reach the boundary, I think, even with the slow outfield.
Yes, that's marvellous timing emanating again from the bat of Dujon. Magnificent timing of the ball. This is a good shot too, played purposely in front of square in the air, and down to the boundary it goes.
Alan Border's done it again. Another caught and bowled. He gets a few of those, and he hangs on to them pretty easily as well.
I tell you what, it brings a big smile to his face, that's for sure. And he doesn't often drop them. This ball was hit back very firmly, and he watched it right into his hands there, boy, and he loves it. And he's not on his own. That's a vital breakthrough for Australia. 3 for 113.
Viv Richards strides to the crease.
Well, Richardson got 2 for Richards there. He's one of the younger players. He hasn't woken up to all this yet.
Australia having 1 wicket in hand at this stage. West Indies just a few runs ahead. And Peter Taylor here bowling pretty well to Richards, giving it a very full length.
There's a lot of turn there. But Richie Richardson seems to be handling it okay so far. That one spun a great deal. Had life a little earlier when Ian Healy missed a stumping chance.
He's gone. Full toss and hammered back to Taylor, and that's a decisive wicket because Richardson really was playing extremely well, but he hasn't had the strike for a long time, and rifled that full toss straight back to Taylor.
Was well caught. He was balanced nicely. And Richie Richardson, who has again played a delightful innings. My word, he's in good form. A joy to watch. 4 for 127. I feel it. I feel it. Very important spell, this, from Peter Taylor. They're saying that the West Indies would have been looking to savage him. But just the man in there to do it at the moment, Viv Richards.
And he's just in. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but he just barely made it.
I know that all the Australians would agree universally that out there, but it looked so close. There's no way in the world the umpire could give it out.
There's Steve Waugh. In the air, and a catch for David Boone. Well, he had a long time to think about it, and he will have an even longer time this evening to think about it.
Got that one away fine. It may even get down to the boundary. Quite a slow outfield. Simon O'Donnell cutting it off down there. And so 3 runs result. There's nothing much in this match. When one considers how the legs fell off the Australian batting lineup, it's not over yet. 47 balls for 67. Straight down the ground. This is going to be out. Will it be dropped? It'll be caught. He's gone. Craig McDermott comes running around to his right. And Carl Hooper is out, caught in the deep. Once again off the bowling of Peter Taylor. So Hooper out, Harper in. He's at the non-striker's end because they crossed while the ball was in the air. Taylor again, this time to Richards. He's hit that in the air. This could be out. Will it be out? He's going to be put out. It's got him. Oh, he's dropped it. Another one down. This time Dean Jones. What is going on out there?
Well, maybe they're having too much fielding practice, because that was a sitter, and it was beautiful bowling. He threw it up. Richards decided not to go straight. He decided to go square. Dean Jones was under it. It was a white ball. You could see it all the way. Jones steadied. He was there in plenty of time. There he is. I'll take it. But no, down she goes, and Richards has another life.
So there's the comparison, very much in Australia's favour. But remember, the legs fell off Australia's batting at this stage. It's in the air. It's coming down towards the boundary. Hughes is under it. Will he catch it? 6. Oh, it's 6. It's over the top. He's helped it over the top. I thought it went over the top, then came back, but perhaps it's 4.
Another chance going begging. It was a difficult one. He had to run back, and it fell into the gutter. Well, that's the situation. 52 off 31. Adrenaline pumping for commentators, spectators, and certainly the fieldsmen.
Yes, who's it going to be next? It's over the top. It's down the ground. That'll be 4. Magnificent shot. That's it. It's high. It's miles in the air. Hughes is coming around, and so it's a what a catch! What a catch! That's the greatest catch. Oh, unbelievable! Stephen Waugh running backwards, almost colliding with Hughes down there, and the side screen. What a catch!
Probably the best outfield catch you've ever seen. Running with the ball, he caught it easily in the end. He kept his eye on the ball. Listen to the roar of the crowd. A magic moment for Waugh and the Australian team. They've dropped their catches. He hit this beautifully, Roger Harper. Under it, there was a gap at long off. He ran from inside the circle. Back he comes, eye on the ball. There's two of them, and he's caught it. What a gem.
So Curtly Ambrose is out there with Viv Richards. They have crossed, and so Waugh has been pushed back after that great catch to the deep mid-off boundary. The gap now is between square leg and fine leg. That boundary is unprotected. Richards on strike. McDermott the bowler. Oh, good shot. That's going to beat the fieldsman. Absolute superb placement. Bisecting the field and firmly struck. What a shot.
Well, the catch.
Down the ground, in the air, a chance for Australia to marsh. He has him. Well, they had to catch him sometime.
The two most relieved men on the ground, Dean Jones and David Boone. Then I think next would come Jeffrey Marsh. The Australians will insist on catching outfield catches with their fingers pointed to the sky. They're asking for trouble. It's 7 for 202.
And so we come to the last over of the match. The West Indies require 14 off that last over to win the match. He's bowled in. Just what the doctor and 66,000 Australians ordered. Perfect delivery.
Excellent delivery there from Terry Alderman. He's a pretty cool man in a crisis, Terry Alderman. Good, thoughtful cricketer. And he got that one right on line. You can't be any more on line than to hit middle stump. Brilliant piece of bowling under pressure.
So Ian Bishop, the young man in only his second match in the World Series Cup. I wonder what that discussion could be all about. Well, give it a try. So he faces. And they'll look for a second. Off 4. My goodness, how a 6 would shake things up now. But this is a very big ground, the biggest that Ian Bishop would have played on, by far the biggest crowd he would have played in front of. Age of 21. Has only had 6 one-day internationals before this one. Beautiful return from Noel Hughes. 3 balls remaining, and this crowd now just waiting for the inevitable. They reckon they've got it wrapped up. So the West Indies need a 6 of either of these last two balls, and they also need a 4. So 2 boundaries, and the Australians haven't given away anything as far as extras are concerned. There's just been the 1 no ball. Sorry, just the 1 wide, not even a no ball. And the crowd knows it's Australia's match. There's 1 ball remaining. And it's Australia's match. Still 9 needed. And it can be got, of course. No ball can be delivered. There could be a wide, overthrows, but not tonight. Australia have won.
Well, if ever the saying of catches win matches rings true, it would be that effort of Steve Waugh to dismiss Roger Harper. Richardson and Richards, along with Dujon, were the best with the bat, while with the ball, Terry Alderman and Craig McDermott got things going before Peter Taylor put the brakes on in the middle to claim 2 wickets. For his efforts with the bat, ball and in the field, Steve Waugh was named man of the match. Now, despite this win, the Aussies failed in the finals 2-1 in controversial circumstances, with the Windies winning the 3rd final. A rain-marred match left the Windies 111 to win in 18 overs after the Aussies made 226 in just 38 overs. Well, as promised, now we head to the Gabba 2 years earlier to witness a terrific game between the old enemies. The date is January 18, 1987. You might remember it. It was a typically beautiful day in Brisbane. It was the home side's first match in the series. The Poms had beaten the Windies the day before in the first match of the competition. In front of 21,000 fans, the Australians were once again led by Alan Border, the hometown hero, along with Marsh, Dirk Wellham, Jones, Waugh, O'Donnell, Greg Matthews, Ken McClay was there, Tim Zura was the keeper, Taylor and Big Bruce Reid as well. For England, well, they were skippered by Mike Gatting with Chris Broad, Bill Athey, David Gower, Alan Lamb, Ian Botham, Jack Richards was the wicketkeeper, Philip de Freitas, John Embry, Gladstone Small and Graham Dilley making up the team there. And it was the Australians who batted first.
It's a beautiful shot from Jeff Marsh. Placed that ball beautifully. But the outfield extremely slow. That looked like a boundary from the moment it was hit.
Superbly played. Marsh can't believe that didn't go to 4. Dilley looking for the outswinger, but the ball not curving at all and remaining on about middle and leg. Marsh timed it beautifully, but the outfield quite lush. In fact, they took their time, the Australians. They thought it was 4 also. Small chance of running 4 there. Bill Athey, as always, quickly after the ball.
It's going to be Philip de Freitas starting from the Stanley Street end. And that's something new, the blue headband for Philip de Freitas. Might have had a bit of a problem with sweat getting in his eyes yesterday. That's pretty close. And umpire McConnell says no. Australia none for 13 after 4 overs.
Fast delivery from Philip de Freitas. Very close for LBW. Freitas not all that wide of the stumps. The ball pitches. My word, that must have been very close indeed. You can see the leg stump there. It's a tough decision for umpire Peter McConnell early on.
That's a nicely played shot. Ground a little quicker on that side, so the first boundary of the morning goes to Dirk Wellham.
That's where Wellham is strong on his pads. Got a lot of bottom hand coming into his play, and he whipped that beautifully off his pads. Fine shot. It breaks the shackles for Dirk Wellham. Sign of aggression. Timed it sweetly, and it raced away for 4.
Gladstone Small moves in. It's in the air, but clears the man at backward square leg, and another boundary to Wellham. So he now is beginning to get a move on.
A little bit astray today, Gladstone Small. One short outside the off stump, another one a half volley on leg stump. Satisfactorily dealt with by Wellham.
And that shot is going to be out. He's got him. Good catch. The man in the deep down there is John Embry. He came running around to his left and made a very good catch. Well, Wellham has been taking advantage of the gap down there, that time paying the penalty.
It's a well-hit shot. Got it right off the meat of the bat. Almost perfectly placed, but Embry made good ground to it, actually. Wellham goes for 26, and it's now 1 for 48.
Dean Jones, man on fire. 3 centuries since January 1, 1987. He'd be feeling pretty good about the game of cricket.
Sliced away, both of them after it, but he won't get to it. 4 runs.
Both of them would have to be Jesse Owens to get to that one. That one really flew very quickly. Top thick edge. Hit somewhere up near the splice. And there it is, crashing into the fence. Both of them arrives just a little late.
1-4-76 Australia after 23 overs. Gladstone Small to continue to bowl his 7th over. It's safe. Lamb racing around, won't get to that. There's at deep point, so good shot from Marsh. His first boundary in the 24th over. That's what the doctor ordered for Australia.
Yes, that's exactly what Marsh has got to do now. I think he's got to really start throwing the bat.
Latham to continue to bowl his 7th over. Safe, well placed. 4 more. Marsh finding the gaps just at the right time. Whips it over mid-wicket for 4.
Good shot by Marsh, and this is exactly what's needed. All the fielder back now, so it's a little more difficult for him, but he, I think, understands what is required. He's now moved to 35. Have a look at this. It's right through it, into the gap as well. The man down there at long on, not able to cut it off, so another boundary. And that boundary has resulted in further changes being made to the field.
Well struck, going down over the fence for 6. Beautifully struck, Dean Jones, over long on, but on the up, timed it to perfection.
That's a magnificent shot by Dean Jones. It's all he's got to do is wait for the half volley and then hit it over the top the way he hit that one. Beautiful shot. Lovely timing, and that's going to bring more field changes. Look at this. Both of them pitches it up. It's pretty straight. Dean Jones gets stuck right into it. There's no one actually wide on that boundary. And over the top it goes. Having said that, they've now changed the field about again.
Latham. We glance, that's 4. Well played, Dean Jones. No deep fine leg, both of them straying to leg stump. He whipped it away beautifully.
This is just what the doctor ordered from Australia's point of view. Picked it away fine. There's no one covering that area. It's always a problem to decide whether to have the fine leg and leave a gap perhaps at mid-wicket or straight down the ground.
Embry has had 3 overs. They cost him 16. He's now on at the Vulture Street end. And nicely placed again with that sweep shot.
Well, that's brought the crowd to its feet. That's cool, it certainly is. The Jones boy down on one knee, caressing that one behind square leg. No one down there. Nice boundary. Pitching outside the off stump. Jones breaks most of the rules in the one-day game. Not too worried about line and length in going for his shots. He's very innovative and very successful.
That's a huge hit, way over the boundary, and almost cleaned up our cameraman there at mid-wicket.
Whole town's talking about the Jones boy. Certainly that's the second he's lifted out of the ballpark here today. Botham put him over the top into the dog track, but that one has gone a long way. Almost brought rain, but there's not too many of the right sort of clouds around here. Look at that, the elevation on that. Great trajectory, way over the top. And that's a good hit. Winston Small. Still 2 overs and 3 balls to go before he's bowled out.
Jones again giving himself room and absolutely smashes that one to the mid-off boundary.
Cop that, it's about right. You see a guy going like Dean Jones, and we saw both of them in that sort of mood across in Perth. Almost unbowlable too. No matter where you pitch the ball, such is the eye of the man that almost hit to any part of the ground.
And he drives it right through Gladstone Small's hands. Beats getting it mid-off. 12 runs off that over. Australia really racing along. 1 for 180.
Here he is now, certainly the new star, and Jeff Marsh is not too far behind him. Clips that away for 4, and this is a tremendous partnership between these two as Australia move on to 1 for 189.
It's a very good stroke, and Gatting's got problems out there with this placement of the field. His bowlers don't back him up. If he's got that man in at fine leg, ball very quickly race away to the boundary with that man close in, having no chance at all. Now he's been put back.
It's that kind of day here, and almost like men who have been lost in the desert for a long time. John Embry and everyone there getting into the act, trying to get some liquid into their bodies, more especially Jeff Marsh. Not quite making it with a dive, and 2 men in the outfield having to chase, and fumble as well to allow the batsman to come back for a third. Just a little fumble in the outfield. The pressure telling now on the England players. The pressure from the score and the pressure from the heat.
That was very sloppy. Once it got through, the two fielders out in the outfield looked at one another to see who was going to get it. In the end, it was Lamb. Very shoddy fielding.
They'll look for 2 here and get them. So Australia's 200 is on the board, and a partnership now which is a record for the second wicket. Australia against England in one-day internationals. The teams have played 34 before today. This is the 35th, and the previous record was 148.
Here's Gladstone Small, and he's bowling to Marsh.
Lovely hit down the ground. He will only get 1. Come back for a second. They'll have to hurry here, but the pressure is on the England fielders, and this is very good running by the Australians. So top performance from these two, and we've seen a feast of stroke play from both of them. So Graham Dilley is back.
Well, the heat and the pressure of the quick singles and the quick twos, the good running between the wickets, is just starting to show.
And from one of the top fielders as well, Philip De Freitas. We saw the same thing happen a couple of overs ago with Alan Lamb, when in his desperation to grab the ball and get it back in, he lost possession.
1 for 215.
So Dean Jones within yet another century to follow his 2 in the Perth Challenge earlier this month and his big one in the Test match at Sydney last week. Just 1 run needed. He's 99. And that's it. Dean Jones, 100.
Very good innings. David Boone made 400s in 12 months for Australia in Test matches. We're not out of January yet, and Jones has made 400s in 1987. Played very well out there. Conditions are difficult for the bowlers and fielders, but they're not all that easy for the batsmen either. Played some lovely shots.
And he's bowled him around his legs. Well, it's hit the stumps and he's gone. Had to wait there for the confirmation of the square leg umpire. Somewhat anticlimactic end to the innings. Bowled around his legs for 101. Standing ovation, well deserved.
Big crowd in here at the Gabba today. Be something around the 20,000 mark, I would think. Drinks just being taken as Jones goes from the field. Splendid ovation from everyone here, and I suspect from viewers around Australia as well. Ball behind his pad. It's not much of a gap to get through there. Alan Border, the man going out to the centre to replace him. 2 for 226.
Yes, listen for the noise here. I think it's distinctively stump. There we are, off the stumps, and that one bowled him round the back of his legs. What an innings it was. Trying to paddle that on away fine, and the bail's flying there as the ball flicked the leg stump. There was just a little delay while the umpires decided that he was bowled. Dean Jones eventually accepted that, and he was back in the pavilion. So a tremendous performance by him. 101 he scored.
Graham Dilley is about to start his 9th over. He's coming from the Vulture Street end. Jeffrey Marsh is on 89. He's got that one beautifully. One bounce and it crashes into the well, it clears the advertising board and goes straight into the crowd.
It's a nice ball to whack away, especially if you've got no one just behind the square on the leg side. That was an attempt at a Yorker. It went slightly wrong. It ended up being a full toss down the leg side and very nicely dispatched away there. It really did fly. Not a bad one-handed take by that youngster in the crowd either.
That's very close. Yes, Mel Johnson agrees, and Marsh is out, just 7 runs short of his century.
Yes, well, he really had to keep going with this onslaught, and he'll get a big ovation from the crowd here because he's played pretty well. He was a little slow in the initial stages, but he really did help Dean Jones put together what was a tremendous partnership, and they've got Australia now to 234. So Marsh out to LBW off the bowling of Dilley. This is how it happened. The ball pitched just outside off stump and probably would have hit middle. He was back on the crease, and it was for that reason that he was given out LBW. 3-4, 234.
Steve Waugh comes to the crease now to join his skipper. Alan Border is on 3. Last man out, Jeffrey Marsh, LBW for 93.
Here's Philip de Freitas.
And that'll be 4. Couldn't be a better placed shot. An educated edge.
Strange delivery too from De Freitas. That one also seemed to head off in that direction. Seemed to come out of his hand incorrectly.
Graham Dilley to Alan Border.
So 270 won't be easy to get. If Australia can get them, there's one less batsman to make them, Alan Border, who's had his middle stump removed.
There's once again Border backing away, trying to get the gap on the offside, and I should think that one hit the edge of the bat as he backed away and deflected onto the middle stump. And so Border, who came into bat with quite a difficult task ahead of him, having to throw the bat, is now out for 11, bowled by Dilley, and the score is 4 for 246.
Simon O'Donnell comes to the crease at the fall of the 4th wicket. The Australian skipper out for 11.
Yes, a little back away movement again, and those stumps shattered by Dilley.
Just a single to finish the innings. So Australia end with a total of 261 from their 50 overs. Dilley 2 for 40, the best figures for the England bowlers.
The Australian innings was certainly dominated by the century to Dean Jones, wasn't it? And the fine 90 by Jeff Marsh, with the pair adding 176 for the second wicket. Wellham, Border and Waugh adding to the scoring rate. Dilley was the pick of the England bowlers with 2 wickets, while Small and Embry chipped in with 1 wicket each. So 5.24 runs and over required by the English to claim victory.
Wasn't a bad delivery. Starting the ball outside the line of the off stump. Not coming back as much. The bat wasn't quite vertical. The ball went past the outside face.
Bill Athy's taking strike. Oh, and a good shot. First one he's timed. The first one really McClay has put right up into the slot for him.
Yes, well, that's England's first boundary and not before time. Bill Athy has been scratching around like an old fowl out there. And that, on the other hand, was a magnificent cover drive. I think perhaps he realises now that he's got to go for it. Trouble is, when you start going for it, it's so easy that, to nick one, perhaps to the keeper or get out, and then the problem is someone else's. 47 balls for 19.
In the air, but quite safe, and it now goes on to none for 32. Simon O'Donnell about to bowl his first over. And on Border was the fielder.
Yes, that really went very quickly to Border. He tried to catch it around about head high by going down on it, but it doesn't seem to me that he really picked it up. He certainly didn't get his hands to it properly. Have a look at this. Goes straight through the fingertips there and down to the boundary. He went flying away to him at slip. Ken McClay is going to probably bowl his overs out here. He's hit that one right into the gap, and that'll go to the boundary. Well, Athy definitely beginning to cut loose now. That's 3 boundaries in quick succession. This was a good shot. This ball a little short. And he was onto the back foot very quickly and played that straight into the gap. Lovely shot.
Now the run rate required has gone up to 6, and that's what the fielding captain always aims at, to have the batting side looking at 6 per over. O'Donnell to Broad. What a great catch. What a great catch by Greg Matthews. That ball was going away from him, but it was hit with slice by the left-hander. and it was veering away from Matthews. Not only did he have to make ground to it, but I reckon that halfway through his dive, he'd have thought it was getting away too far. He got it in his fingertips. What a way to go, quite right.
Yes, lovely catch this one. The ball hit in the air, and have a look at Matthews diving away to his right. Got both hands to the ball, and he enjoyed that, as did all his colleagues. So a good catch by Matthews that has resulted in a breakthrough for the Australians, and England now 1-for-48. David Gower is the new batsman. Let's have a look at the catch again that Matthews caught. Broad was the batsman. He hit that away wide, and Matthews diving to his right took the catch. So a good breakthrough this for England. It was a hard hit shot and a good catch there by Matthews. It's the first England wicket to fall. 1-for-48.
Change in the bowling. Stephen Waugh comes on.
Beautiful shot.
Yes, that's the straightest of straight drives. Races away for 4, England 1-for-58. England has still got 9 wickets in hand, which is very important in the final 15 overs or so.
That will fall safe. Simon O'Donnell will be just short. And that really was a lucky break for David Gower, because it went very high. There were 3 fieldsmen out there on the onside, and it really has landed virtually in the middle of them.
Frustrated David Gower trying to pick that, hit it over square leg. There's a man from square leg, the man from deep fine leg, and a man from mid wicket charging in. O'Donnell does well. 2 more to David Gower.
And he's gone this time. David Gower's frustration shown there as he smashes middle stump out of the ground.
Good piece of bowling. Stephen Waugh and Simon O'Donnell kept the pressure right on Gower. A great batsman, couldn't break the shackles, and finally he's clean bowled, trying to hit Waugh out of the ground. Took the pad, the back of the off stump, and then finally Gower decides that there goes the middle stump anyway. And England are 2-for-73.
Alan Lamb has been very successful in limited over matches throughout his career, with an average of 42.4, and also this season he's been very successful. Greg Matthews has now been called to the crease. He may share 10 overs with Peter Taylor.
I think the fall of Gower's wicket has encouraged Border to bring on Matthews from the members' end.
Nicely placed late cut. Ken McClay won't get to it. So a handy boundary there for Bill Athey. England 2-for-79 after 22.
One's been lifted away. He's going to be out. Underneath it, he's got him. Oh, Lamb didn't quite middle that one. He went for the big hit. There was a man at deep mid-wicket. It hit the inside edge, I'd say. Went high in the air and caught down at deep mid-wicket. Well, Matthews has struck now. And England under pressure. Let's have another look at the shot.
And gets into position well, but hits across the line, hits into the breeze, and not enough meat on the bat. Marsh takes the catch. Lamb is now out. And 3-for-92. Lamb made 6.
Well, Ian Botham has been promoted in the order, keeping himself back. Out there now as a result of this dismissal.
Lamb finally trying to go in the air, as against looking for 1s and 2s. The situation of the game demanded that he do that. Of course, he paid the ultimate penalty. Not quite middling it. A simple catch actually taken by Marsh. Simon O'Donnell coming back on to replace Steve Waugh.
It's a slower ball. It's in the air. Oh, and just tips the fingers. The ball has gone away down to the boundary for 4. And if that one had have stuck, Ken McClay would have been very happy. Just out of his reach it was.
It's over-pitched, full toss, flat bat, swat. And McClay just may have got a fingertip on that. So Simon O'Donnell really feeling the brunt of the English batting at the moment.
He's put it down. The look of a bowler who knows that he's let it go. Straight back to him in his lap.
Almost got it the second time as well.
England have a big target, 261. For 4 was the Australian score. Well, England still required to score at 7.63 if they're to win this match. And that's gone through, hit very hard by Botham. So this is a crucial over from O'Donnell. It's already cost Australia 11 runs. There's 1 ball to go.
It seems to me England are keeping up with that run rate required there over the last few overs, 7.45. Slower ball, and I reckon Botham lost it. Well, what a triumph for O'Donnell. He's bowled Botham the slower ball. He hasn't got it anywhere near where he wants it. It's been a full toss. Botham, I think, lost it in the background, seemed to flail away at it. And another England wicket down. Well, it'll go down in the book, and oops is right. Perhaps he didn't lose it. Perhaps he was beaten into playing too soon, then tried to check the stroke. Certainly it looked as though something of that kind happened there. It's 4 for 149.
So a big job now for Mike Gatting, the England captain. Promoted Ian Botham above himself in the order. Botham never quite got going and then was done in the end by a slower ball. And that's a good hit. Straight down the ground, back past the bowler. Good orthodox, straight batted drive.
And Peter Taylor is the new bowler.
Quite a big gap there.
And it goes straight, and straight over Ken McClay's head. Well over.
Yes, well, that is a beautiful shot by Gatting. I think that he's decided now that Peter Taylor's got to go, and he's just going to hit through it if he can get underneath it, and he's going to hope the wind that is blowing down the ground helps him take the ball over that boundary down there. Well, it's 1 out of 1 for him so far. Already 7 from the over. Little chat there between Taylor and Wellham.
And he's bowled him right on line. So Peter Taylor strikes back after having been belted for 6.
Yes, well, Gatting obviously had decided that every ball was going to have to go, and that was a good delivery from him, bang on target. Seemed to be just a little bit of curve in that one, a little spin back onto the middle stump it came. Gatting trying to play it to square leg, knows that as he went past that one, he was gone, and so he now is out, and England are 5 for 197.
And that brings Jack Richards to the crease.
Well, let's have another look at Gatting's dismissal. That ball pitched around about off stump, hit middle and leg, and I think he probably regrets not trying to hit the ball straight down the ground.
65 runs from 40 balls. Athy being tied down a bit. Bruce Reid is going to continue from the Vulture Street end. that could be his 100. 100 to Bill Athey, his second in international one-dayers. Jack Richards goes over mid-wicket, and he does it very successfully. Beautifully timed.
Yes, we've seen him play some pretty aggressive shots, and that's what he's got to do now. And I think you might be right, Ian. I think the energy has completely left Athey, and it's up to Richards now to really turn it on, and that's the sort of thing that's required.
Out at mid-on, yes. Simon O'Donnell is the man, and he takes the catch well.
Yes, there's no way in the world that Simon O'Donnell was going to miss that one. It was another full toss, and it was hit straight down the ground. Simon O'Donnell didn't have to move, really. He caught the ball about head high. And look at the full toss there. Richards tried to paddle it away over his head. Wasn't able to do that, and so that was the end of Jack Richards. England now 6 for 210.
Philip de Freitas is the new man at the crease, as England need 2 runs from every ball. And it's over cover. There's no one out there if he's got it well enough, and he has.
Yes, we've seen him hit pretty well on the onside. That was quite nicely struck too. There's a gap down there, but you need to find the middle of it, which he did on this occasion. Opened the face a little bit. That ball flying down into the gap. Dean Jones couldn't quite make it.
Goes that way again, but straight to Alan Border. And Border had just moved himself across into that position. So Australia doing everything right at the moment.
Yes, de Freitas trying to repeat the shot before. And Border had moved across into the offside circle. And worse than that, de Freitas didn't middle it. That ball very short, and it hit right up on the splice. He was hitting all around the ball, really. Border made the catch. So Philip de Freitas is out. The Australians have got England now on 7 for 218.
John Embry, only 3 wickets in hand. And a chance there for War. It gets through his fingers, despite a very good effort by the bowler.
Yes, that didn't exactly hit him square in the middle of the hands. He got down quickly. It was hit quite firmly back at him, and there we go. Straight through the outstretched hands of Stephen Waugh.
There are 3 overs to go, and they want 38 for victory. Almost 13 runs per over. And that could be out Simon O'Donnell. And he's grabbed it. So once again, Bruce Reid strikes with a full toss.
Yes, it's all the go. The full tosses out here at the Gabba today. Well, Athey strolling back to the pavilion now. He's made 111. He's been there since the start of play. He's been on the ground since play started this morning during the Aussie innings. He would be absolutely exhausted. This is how he was out. The full toss, trying to heave it over mid-on there. He succeeded in getting it on the splice. It went straight up, and Simon O'Donnell taking a pretty straightforward catch. So Athey out for 111, and England 8 for 225.
Gladstone Small. This time he goes high towards Dean Jones, and Dean Jones almost pulled off a blinder. Got the left hand to it, and for a moment it stuck, and eventually it fell out and went into the corner for 3 boundaries from 3 balls. And by Jove, Embry has breathed some life back into this game.
Yes, well, that is a beautiful shot. Have a look at this, an attempt for a catch. Righty, back he goes. Oh, that would have been an unbelievable catch had he managed to hang on to it.
He'll probably be looking to go over cover again. I'm sure Reid will be trying to keep the ball up. Just a single there. Well, Gladstone Small is going to sacrifice. There really wasn't much point in coming back for that one.
So Small out, run out. Always going to have to be a difficult second run. Small touches. He comes back and he's trying to put some pressure on the fieldsman. Good throw right over the top. And Small, 5 metres short. So 9 for 251. And just one ball to go. Back to scorers 250. They only got one off that ball.
And there it is, Australia win. So a very good victory to Australia. Australia and England now even on 2 points in the World Series Cup competition.
Well, the Aussies must have been just a little worried towards the end there as John Embry tried to win it off his own bat. Earlier on, it was a brilliant century by Bill Athey who set things on the right track. Botham and Gatting also gave the visitors a bit of a chance there. The bowling was led by Reid, O'Donnell and Waugh, each claiming 2 wickets each, while Matthews and Taylor each took 1, with Ken McClay going wicketless. The man of the match went to Dean Jones for his swashbuckling century, although had the English won, Bill Athey would have certainly claimed that title, but it's debatable. This series, however, was won by England, with the Australians succumbing meekly in the finals to be beaten 2-0. So there you have it, 2 sensational one-day wonders. Look forward to other titles in this series at your video store. I'm Tony Jones. Thanks for joining us.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.